Yo, yo, yo.
Yo. What's going on, brother?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing solid, man. I definitely can't complain after last night.
Oh, yeah, ain't that the truth, man? I haven't felt this good on a Monday in quite some time.
Yeah, man. You don't won you a jersey and that. Your boys won. Hey,
Yeah, it was a
man.
successful weekend for me, that's for sure.
Hey. Outside of one bogus ass bogotry that happened Saturday night, can't complain. We'll get to it. Um, Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another week of the Big Z and the OG's podcast. I'm your host, as always, Big Z, aka Grill Z, and my right hand man, Kyle.
What's up?
You got anything you want to get off your chest before we begin?
I just want to give a quick shout out to everybody, man, hitting 100, right on the cusp of it at least, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you to everybody out there who's tuning in, picking up steam. I appreciate you guys sharing it and kind of putting it out there. So, only up from here.
Yeah.
So,
We on the three quarters mark of 100, the 3 century mark. Yeah, we almost in the fourth quarter. Well, actually, we in the fourth quarter.
we're
We
in the fourth
almost
quarter,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, I just wanna piggyback on that. I just wanna say thank you to everybody, anybody who we don't know who crossed past this podcast, or the people that we did know, that we do know. Take the time out every week to listen to our weekly episode or a past episode. I mean, it may be very small to y'all, even if y'all only listening to 30, 40 minutes, even that is enough. That's good enough for the algorithm. So, it may be small to that, but it's huge for us because, this little dream that we had, because I can't speak for Kyle, but I know this very podcast is something that's been on my mind for a good 5 to 6 years.
Oh yeah.
You know, and I just was never confident to be like, I don't know if I would be good with this podcast stuff, but then I sit here and I think if I go to a bar or if I go to a restaurant or just Facebook, and if I see somebody talk sports, even if it don't got nothing to do with the Cowboys, I'm butting in. So why?
Absolutely.
So why not? It got to be football. It could be basketball, MMA, boxing,
Sports, man.
baseball, anything. Speaking of baseball, I wanna have a quick topic before we even talk football stuff.
Are
But
are you
yeah,
gonna mention Ohtani's contract?
yes, you know, and one more thing I want to address before we begin is hey, Rockville football. I know it didn't turn out the way I wanted, but as an alum who was in them trenches before, I'm proud of y'all. I don't care about the score. Bump it. Y'all made it,
Dogs,
man.
man.
Y'all went somewhere that we couldn't even think of in 2009, 2010, 2011 when I was playing. We couldn't even fathom that. We were just out there playing football to A, stay out of trouble, and B, because we loved football, and C, women. If we being honest. But
I
hey
say we
man,
were we were out there trying to win games, and these kids are out here trying to win championships.
yep.
So
Hey,
hats off to them, man. Just keep it going.
hey man, hey, y'all fell short for the second time in 3 years. But just get bigger, get stronger, don't get down, and get back to it next season, man. And y'all gotta realize the team that y'all played was a tough team.
Yeah, that's
And
a good team too.
17 best team in the state. You can't, you know. We started the season top 70, and we finished top 30. I'll take it. I can't speak for everybody else, but I personally say I'm proud of you guys, man.
Oh yeah.
And y'all will be seeing my face as per usual next week. I mean next year. Maybe we could do a pre-show podcast next year. We never know. We shall see. But yeah, man. I want everybody to let us know how your weekend went, how your week went. But now let's order of business, man. Shohei motherfucking Ohtani.
It's
10
crazy.
years, 700 million. Jesus.
Well, did you see the latest update on the contract?
Mm-mm.
So it's 10 years, 700 million, but Otani's going to make $2 million a year for those 10 years, and when his contract runs out, that's when he gets the 680 million.
That's smart. That's
Which I
smart.
mean, to me, that means that he's not looking to play for the next 20 years. He's
Mm-hmm.
got 10 years in him, and then he's going off to do his own thing with all
Mm-hmm.
of that money.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, I mean, baseball's always had crazy. I mean, Bobby Manila still makes $1.2 million a
Tyreek
year from.
Hill's hurt.
Um,
Oh man.
yeah, I just saw that. It's
Tyreek.
bad for Miami, but I'll take that. Hopefully, he's out for at least 2 weeks.
Mm,
um, but I mean, baseball contracts have always been super weird. They're usually a long, extended period of time. Obviously, baseball. I'm not going to say it's easier because hitting a baseball is probably one of the hardest things that you can do in sports. But it's not nearly as physically taxing as like football or hockey is. Um, it's just the act of hitting a baseball in itself is. I mean, you got to think baseball is so hard that if you can hit a baseball 3 of the 10 times you're at the plate, you're considered elite. Um,
yeah.
so I
I
give
got a
credit
quick
to those
question for
professional
you.
baseball players.
Out of 100 pitches thrown by a major league pitcher, how many do you think you're hitting? You
As far as
personally?
making contact with or getting a base
Yeah.
hit off of, making
Getting base
contact
hit.
with out of 100, I'd say probably 20 to 30 I can make contact with. As far as actually getting it in the playing field and getting a base hit, I'd be lucky if I hit one. I was never a hitter. I was more of a pitcher when I played baseball. Um, and my eyes aren't nearly as good as they used to be, so I wouldn't
Yeah,
see that damn thing coming.
my eyes is terrible. You could put a million in front of me, I'm hitting none of them.
I mean, I could barely catch a football when you throw one at me, so I don't know if I'll be able
Yeah,
to hit a
nah.
baseball at 100 miles an hour.
Listen, I could barely catch a bat. If somebody passed me a basketball, I'm seeing four. I don't
Yeah,
even mess.
I'm
I'm
just
not
aiming
even
for the one in
messing
the
with
middle.
that.
Whatever one's in front of my face, because that's where my hands are going. So
Yep. Yep. Hey man, I need Waddle to go big. So I mean, hey. Oh, by the way, we watching this Tennessee Miami game. We decided we liked it that the Monday night flow last week. That was dope. I
I got
like
the
that
Giants game
concept.
over on my side. I figured we'll have
Yeah,
both games going. I'll watch the
yeah.
pack play.
He got the boring game going. I mean, this game gonna be boring too because it's gonna be a pump show, but at least it's gonna be some points in this game. You know.
You know how it is though, man. Sometimes watching two mediocre teams play is really where you see some of the best football, man. Um,
Hey, hey, case in point, Thursday night.
yeah.
That was a
Oh.
decent game, man. That was a
Yeah.
decent game. And one more thing I want to talk about baseball wise, since we always talk football, I want to
hmm
diversify it. As a Red Sox fan, how you feeling about Juan Soto over there at the Yanks?
Oh, I mean, I as soon as the trade went through, I said it. I said it straight out. I said the Yankees always have this problem where they always make big moves in the offseason and before the trade deadline throughout the season. Um, they've got all these phenomenal players: Matthew, Judge, Stanton. They've added Soto. These guys have talent all around the place, and they're going to spend a bunch of money just to watch the postseason from the couch. Um, I,
Mm,
as a Red Sox fan, I have to hate on the Yankees. But I just they're just an outdated franchise, man. They're just not gonna win anything, and like they have one of the best pitchers in the league in Garrett Cole, and he deserved his Cy Young. I tip my hat to him. He could be a crybaby at times. When that dude's on the mound, he's electric. But that team's just it's always been too many Chiefs, not enough Indians. They're not gonna do anything. The Dodgers are gonna win the World Series. I'd put all my money on that right now.
Man, the Dodgers, man, I don't know how they do it. It's like
Well, that's the cool thing about baseball, though, is that baseball
no
doesn't have a
cap.
salary cap. They
Yeah, I
have the
was
luxury tax, so they could pay people whatever they want. They just have to pay a tax on it at the end of the year.
I was
I mean,
telling
they've
my
got Freddie
brother,
Freeman, they've got Mookie
yeah,
Betts, they've got now they've got Shohei, they've got pitchers up, Max
yeah,
Muncy out there too.
yeah,
They've got studs in every single position on the field, man. Um, I love the Dodgers. Diehard Red Sox fan. I think the Dodgers, outside of my Dallas Cowboys star, for some reason, the LA is the coolest logo in all of sports. I
yeah.
have lots of Dodgers hats. I love the way that LA looks. I represent the West Coast. Um, I love the Dodgers.
The past 10 years,
Touchdown Packers.
that's probably been the most dominant sports team in the past 10 years. The Dodgers.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Um,
Absolutely.
that's the thing about the Yankees always make splash moves, but they don't never fix pitching. That be their biggest problem. They could score 8 with ease, but they giving up 12 on the back end.
Yeah, and the problem with baseball too is with the Yankees, the way that they pad their rosters, it's not like it's football where you got 17 games and then a postseason. You got
Uh,
162 games, man. That's a really long time to try to keep up with that kind of um, with that kind of talent. Like you've got Judge, like I said, Judge, LeMahieu, Stanton, or LeMahieu. I don't think it's LeMahieu. Sorry about that. And now
Stanton,
Soto out there too.
Stanton, Stanton trash. He might as well retire. It's so boom or bust with this dude. It's either he gonna hit it out the park or he's striking out 40 straight times.
Yeah, but I mean that's the thing with baseball, man. Like I said, if you hit the ball 3 out of 10 times, you're considered elite. And Stanton will hit it once out of 10. But that one time that he hit it for 465 to
400,
dead
yeah.
center, like with the bases loaded in the eighth inning. So those kind of guys like that. I mean, you, baseball stats are so weird to look at. Because there's just so much involved in it. You look at pitchers too. Pitchers end the season, they get a Cy Young award, and they go 9-3.
Hmm.
But they pitch every 5 days. So
Hmm.
stats in baseball are just super super strange. Because you can look
Uh,
at somebody that they had 10 home runs in the season, but they're an all star. And
yeah.
you look at home runs and you're like, oh, this guy can't hit a home run to save his life. And you're like, yeah, but he's got a 425 batting average going into to
Hmm.
late October. And, he gets three
Hmm.
singles a game. It doesn't matter if he can hit it out of the park. He gets on base.
To
So
me, if I was a GM, I want somebody who can hit the ball. Yeah, it's cute to hit the home run. The home run is the equivalent of the 3-point shot in the NBA. It's sexy when it happens, but give me the gritty stuff, man. Give me the stuff that's in the trenches, man. I'm a trenches guy, man. Give me
that
like
that was how
like.
Atlanta was last year, man. Atlanta would come
Hmm.
out and they were averaging like one home run every 3 games during the first half of the
Hmm.
season, but they were scoring 8 9 runs because it was get a man on, get a man on, get a man on, boom, hit him home, boom, hit him home, get a double, a single here, long singles, to left field and getting somebody running in from second.
That's
Um,
how Arizona made the World Series just by
mhm.
finish year clutch hitting. Wasn't too many Cattell Martin and clutch hitting. That's what it is about. Who in any sport, hockey, baseball, football, basketball, it's all about who's hot when it needs to be hot.
Mhm.
That's why I have a I I got two people. I got two teams in my number one slot for my power rankings this week. Well,
Oh boy.
we'll get there. We get there, but before we get to that, I gotta talk negative first.
I'm
Hey,
listening.
NCAA. People feel like you sold the bag against the playoffs. Honestly, I agree. But I'm not gonna be sad about it because my team was the team that replaced an undefeated team. But this Saturday, I don't know what the fuck y'all was thinking. I don't know what the fuck y'all Heisman win voters was thinking. Yes, this year Jalen Daniels had 50 total touchdowns. Yes, he had 1,000 rushing yards. Whatever his stats was, I get that. But since when does a four-loss team means you got the best player in the nation?
Yeah,
Since
man.
when?
That's
Since
such a
when?
I
Since
and
when?
it really sucks too because like I don't want to take away from him and his ability to play the game and congratulations to him. Obviously, it's the most prestigious award you can win in college football. And even you can even make the argument probably the only thing more prestigious than that is like Super Bowl MVP or something as far as a football standpoint goes. Maybe the Walter
Mhm.
Payton Award, depending on where you're sitting, but it it just doesn't add up. I think that um, there were plenty of other people that should have been on that list.
Shout
And
out!
I get, go ahead.
Oh no, I was about to say shout out Reed for the touchdown for the Packers. He just popped it up on the TV.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a nice play they
But
made too.
yeah, man. And I got a theory. Hey, here's my theory on this shit. Right?
Yeah,
Hear me out, and I want you to think about it, right? Why the fuck would the voters vote for Penix to be the Heisman when the Pac-12 is no more? So you mean to tell me that the winner of the Heisman they won't be representing the same conference next year? So fuck it. The next best, because you had Bo Nix in there too. They Pac-12. So the next best thing, let's just pick this dude who's been getting his ass whooped all season, but he's exciting to watch. Let's just pick him because we know he's still in the SEC. Fuck it, let's just choose him. Let's choose him. It's the safer bet because it's the SEC. And and I hope to God, and this is coming from a Bama fan. I hope Oklahoma and I hope Texas come into our division next year, and I hope they wreak havoc because shit is ridiculous. This shit
yeah.
is
I mean,
ridiculous.
I understand why like Bo Nix didn't win it. You kind of have to look at like it's for the best player in college football, and it's really hard to look at a guy that's been playing college football for 8 fucking years. Um,
Yeah,
like he should be better. He's got the most experience. But I know as an Ohio State fan, it's going to sound like a homer thing to say. I really do think Harrison Jr. deserved it. He was the best player in college football. I don't know how you can refute that.
but
You know,
the Heisman is right. The best player on the best. I mean, not necessarily because Johnny Manziel won it. He was electric. Kyler Murray won it. He was electric. So I get it. I mean, RG3 won it over Andrew Luck. How? Who knows? But hey, I mean, I get it. It's the most electrifying player, but I think that's the wrong criteria. It should be the best player on the best team gets the Heisman. Simple. So that means it's either out of Penix or Harrison. You pick and choose who you want to pick. But four losses, two two losses. One of the people who was in there beat the other person 2 times this season.
mhm.
That don't count for something. I don't care if it was 3 point games twice. I don't care
A
about that.
loss is a loss. Yeah,
Me personally, I'm picking Penix because
back to
Washington
back, huh?
because I'm picking Penix because Washington they was underlooked all season. Nobody wasn't talking about Washington week 1, you know. But then if you want to take the safer route, Harrison, he's the most dominant player in the nation. I think they got it wrong, and that's no. I'm not the biggest fan of Daniels. I think a lot of his stats was remember a few years ago when they said a lot of Dak stats was end of the game stats,
Hmm.
was garbage time stats. A lot of his stats was that garbage time stats.
One thing I want to say about Penix Jr. at the Heisman ceremony, the suit that kid
That
wore
boy, that shit was beautiful.
was awesome. That kind of tribute to your teammates and the staff that have helped you get to where you're at. That was one of the coolest things that I have ever seen a sports an athlete do, and the fact that he did it at a collegiate level. That kid's got his head on right, and that kid's gonna be um,
Got the
just
experience.
huge. For those of you that don't know, on the inside of his jacket was the names of
Every
every
single
player,
player,
coach, and
every
staff member
coach.
that he had with him at the school. And
Mhm.
that is huge. That was amazing to see. I was very impressed by that.
Quick shout out to the NFL though. I just realized the Giants game is on ABC. You know how significant that is?
Hmm.
Man, bring back, man, just bring back old days. I'm sorry, I'm just bringing back. Sunday night you turn on ESPN, you got NFL primetime with Chris Berman, Tom Jackson, and
Saquon touchdown.
then you turn over to Channel 8, primetime football. Wow, that just gave me chills. That's when football was great.
And like the fact that we get two games on a Monday
Yep.
night, I'll
Hey,
take that.
they need to keep this. D Hop with a big play. D Hop should have been in Dallas, but it's okay. Still kind of salty about that because we would have won the Super Bowl. But we might run around and win it anyway. But
Dude, Saquon is the best player on the Giants, and it's not even close.
Saquon done wrapped around that whole team 5 times and still, and it's still that's how big the gap is. He can run around them 10 times in a row, overlap them 10 times in a row. These dude, every team stacked 10 in the box, and he can get a buck 50 if he wanted to.
And like, all right, I get it. He's had some injuries. He's missed some time. He's never had like a good O line. There's been some quarterback issues, as we know about. But like, he is just so consistent. And like for a
Hmm.
running back in the league to be able to take a game over the way that Saquon can, he can catch it, he can run it, he can go outside, he can go
He could
inside, he can hit you, he can
he could
put a move
block.
on you. He's just an all around dominant player. Um, so hopefully he gets his at the end of the day.
Yeah, but we
Not in a
already know
Giants
how
jersey,
to.
though.
You know how that market. It don't matter if he in a giant jersey because this is. I don't fear nobody in the NFC East, and I never felt or feared nobody in the NFC. Like like
No, I
come
just don't
on,
want to see
man.
the Giants do good enough to where he gets some high praise. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna praise him regardless. Great is great. I had to
Yeah,
learn
but
that the hard way. I had no choice but to root for Sean Taylor when
yeah,
he played Dallas. I had no choice. Like
like
that's my
hit
goal.
him hard, but let him hold on to it.
That's my
Like,
goal. Like if he get a pick six, I'm kind of crying inside, kind of rooting at the same time. You know, I can't wait to play Miami. That's gonna be a fun game. It's really gonna
uh,
be a fun game.
I don't know, man. I'm still kind of skeptical about it.
We're gonna beat the brakes out of Buff.
Oh, Buffalo, I ain't worried about. But the problem that gets me about Miami is like Bland can't play man coverage, and I know Gilmore had a good game, and we'll get into that. But uh, who's going to cover Tyreek?
Hear me out. You let Tyree go off, you just bend and don't break, and don't let nobody else go for 100. You let Tyree go for 200 with no touchdowns, bend and don't break, and don't let nobody else go off. My only
Nah,
problem, Moser is a bigger problem than me than Hill, you know, because we suck at the run.
I
We
mean, we did a decent job of shutting Philly down.
Philly is a terrible running team. Okay, your boy Will Levis, he just got stopped at the one. These some good games tonight. What we got? What else we got going on? We talked about that bougie ass college football playoff starting in a couple weeks. Can't wait.
Chasing
Um,
down that number one seed.
hey man, hey. By the way, I'm letting y'all know now. We beating Michigan by at least 20. Just letting y'all know.
You really think that, don't you?
We will beat y'all by 20. Ain't no saving my game. Like, we beating Michigan by 20, and we getting our revenge with Texas. Like,
You willing to
you
bet on
hard.
that?
I promise myself I ain't betting no more.
I'm just saying, you sounded super confident
All
over
right.
there.
What you got on the table? It depends on what's the offer.
Oh, I don't have any ideas yet. I just want to know if I should look into some ideas because I already got a jersey and a hat on the way. I'm not sure how much more I'm trying to take you for.
I gotta win eventually, man.
Oh well, that's the problem with gambling is you don't have to win every time. You can't win every
Hey,
time, but you can definitely lose every time.
listen, but out of 100 times you gonna win hit big once and then you go home. You keep trying. When you lose, you keep trying. But once you get that first win, I don't want to play no more.
But you already owing. You're already down in the hole, man. How much deeper are you
listen,
trying to make it?
listen. I gotta win eventually because both weeks I had the dub in my hand, and somebody just smacked it out my hand, and then I'm getting closer and closer and closer. You feel me? You know,
Should have taken the Jets game, huh?
I told you. All you told me was LOL because your boys got smacked on Sunday, boy. Hey, Zach Wilson. Oh wait, we're getting too ahead of ourselves. Um, okay, yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah,
I want
jump
to
right
start
into it.
off. Let's do our top five real quick, because you had an interesting topic. Who would be your top five coaches of all time, man? And I'd like to
So,
know anybody. DM me or DM me, or I'm gonna put a post up on Facebook, and y'all comment y'all five favorite coaches of all time, or who would y'all would like to coach or
yeah,
play.
so not necessarily like the greatest coaches of all time, but who are the five coaches that you would want to play for? Um, for me, um, now this is a football coach, um, heavy category at least. Um, honestly, number one for me would have to be Jimmy Johnson. I know again that's going to be a Homer Dallas Cowboy fan answer, but just from seeing the way that that guy ran a locker room and the way what he did with that team, and he single handedly made draft picks actually important around the league with the Herschel Walker trade. So that would be a guy that I would definitely rally in a locker room for. Um, so you got Jimmy Johnson. You got to go with the big man John Madden. Just another electrifying personality in a locker room. Um, then I'd go with McVay. Honestly, I think his
Wait,
energy and
time
charisma.
out, time out. Is your criteria? Oh no, because you said Jimmy Johnson. Okay, okay. Can it leak into college football?
Yeah, yeah. Just I mean, it could be any sport. It
Okay,
could be a
okay, okay,
basketball coach.
okay.
Just any
Oh yeah.
coach that you would want to play for.
I'm giving you
Um,
mine in order too, 5 to 1 too. Hey,
yeah, mine's
yes
in no
sir.
particular order. So I got Jimmy Johnson. I got John Madden.
Mhm,
You got to go with Popovich.
mhm,
You got to. That's like an
mhm,
undeniable.
mhm.
Um, I would say uh, Don Shula. Again, another one who could
Mm,
just run a team. Um,
mhm.
and for five, I'm gonna have to go Phil Jackson, man. Like results don't lie.
Mm.
The only thing that guy could ever do was get teams to win. I mean, 11 championships, 1,100 wins. Obviously,
Mhm.
I can't play basketball very well myself, but I'll sit on the bench behind Phil Jackson. That's for damn sure.
7-7, Tennessee, Miami over this way. You got 7-7 Green Bay, the Giants. All right, I'm telling
All right,
you
how about
now,
you?
my list is all football. Number 5, Mike Tomlin. Yo, he
Excellent
just
choice.
dog as a
Yeah,
coach.
excellent
Dog
choice.
of a 4, Bill Parcells.
He's kind of a dickhead, but that's a good choice.
The dickheads are the best ones. The dickheads are the best ones. 3, Jimmy Johnson. He's just the GOAT.
Yep,
2, Tom Landry. Gotta play for Tom Landry.
that's the real goat right there.
And the number 1 choice, my GOAT of all GOATs, Bear Bryant. Roll Tide.
I knew that was gonna. I
Roll.
knew it was gonna be on there. Yeah, I know. 6 championships, 323 wins. I knew he was gonna be on there. I was just waiting to see where he was gonna fall on the list. I mean, at least he didn't say Saban. If you had said Saban, I'd have to slap you.
He's top 10. He's top 10. Cause you can't
Yeah,
he's done a natty with 2 different teams. That counts for something.
yeah, but I still feel like if he was my head coach, I'd beat him in the head with a freaking helmet in the locker room.
I went because he actually cared about his students though. Like when you are athlete with him, school comes first. Fuck football. Like yeah, amazing. Oh yeah, he's worth 20 million. Fuck all that. He deserved that shit. He got what 5 natties. He deserved all the money he get. If Jimmy Johnson was a coach, how much money you think he would get?
A lot.
You know? And for um honorable mention, I got to go. I just gotta go with the main man,
You can say
Tony
Lombardi.
Dungy. Nope,
Oh, Dungy. Okay, I respect that. Yeah, I respect that.
Tony Dungy. Man, that
That's a
Bucks
player's
defense
coach right
was
there too.
ridiculous.
Change the game, man. Change the game. Them and
Think
the
about
2010
this.
Steelers.
Think about this, right? The 2000 Ravens, the greatest defense of all time, I might add. You could keep the 85 Bears. You could keep all of them. The greatest defense of all time was that 2021 Ravens team. They gave up, I believe, 11 points a game. Unheard of. And here was the coaches on that staff. You had Tony Dungy. You had Buddy who coached Cincy. What was his name? Um, Marvin Lewis. Had Marvin Lewis. You had, and then you had the head coach. Every
Oh,
single, and that's is just royalty. Don't even get me started. The ones who coached under Bill Belichick. I mean, not Bill Belichick, but Bill Parcells. Like Jesus. But
I mean,
yeah,
almost every coach in the league right now comes from the Parcells tree,
yep. And
from one way or another.
somebody who I respect as a coach, but I don't respect as a person, as a man, as a human being. And I honestly hope. No, I'm not even gonna say that.
Careful.
If we was off air, I would say something. But we not. We on air. Joe Paterno. As a coach, I respect him, but as a man, I don't respect him.
That's fair.
Yeah, I like your list. You got some new guys. You got some old guys. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me, being a coach, man, it's not just about your, it's kind of like being a
It's
manager at your job. Like, it's not just about like your ability to go out there and get guys to win. I mean, like these are human beings that you're, leading the charge for, and
Miami on the verge of scoring right here.
guy like especially McVay, man. McVay's probably my favorite coach in the league, man. Like I don't care about wins and this, that, the other thing. I don't really care about that kind of stuff because it's not my team. But just from his seat
Mhm.
and where he stands, the way he carries himself, the way he talks about the game, the way he preaches the game. I mean, you ever see that interview with him and they were asking him about his time in Washington and they were like, "Oh, it was 3rd and 7 against Atlanta." And he's like, "Yeah, he memorizes every aspect
Nah,
of the game.
that
He
dude is
lives,
smart.
breathes football." And I just respect that on a fundamental level, man. So I gotta McVay has to be in that list.
I'm a,
He
I'm
will
a,
go down as a GOAT.
I'm gonna ask you this: who's the greatest OSU coach of all time, in your opinion? Fuck the records. Fuck at OSU. Who would you want to play for? Ryan Day, Urban Meyer, or Tressel?
Uh, he's a fucking scumbag of a person, but I'm gonna have to pick Urban Meyer, man. like,
Tressel
like
was a great. He was like.
Nah, he's phenomenal, man. I mean that stretch that he had was the
Mhm.
best. But if you look at the development of talent of the players that Urban had on his roster and where they went through their careers, I mean, yeah, I mean you had Chase Young, Nick Bosa, Zeke, the guys that he's had in his program, and to where they're at now in their careers, man.
Don't even
He,
forget about the corners. You can't forget about the corners that was there. You had not Jeff Okuda. Can't think of the names on the top of my head right now. But
well, I mean, you had Malik
Ohio
Hooker out there.
State, Ohio State, low key was secondary youth for a little minute, and then they just turned to wide receiver youth.
So I remember watching Malik Hooker out there, man.
Yeah, Malik Hooker was a baller. He
Savage.
reminded me. He reminded me of Dang, I can't think of nobody's name right now. The safety for the Colts, Bob Sanders. He
Oh, yep.
reminded me exactly of Bob Sanders.
Yep, you had Von Bell out there too. Denzel Ward from
Yeah,
out there.
Hilton, Mike Hilton was out there.
Uh,
Mike Hilton was out
I
there.
mean, then you got to think he had Noah Brown out there on offense too. Joey
Mm.
Bosa out there. Eli Apple. Um,
Yo, Eli, that's
Marshawn
right.
Lattimore, Chris Olave, Michael Thomas. I mean, you just look at the guys that came from that program. Garrett Wilson, he's Oklahoma State too, or not Oklahoma,
Mm.
Ohio. Sorry, freaking idiot.
Yeah,
Um,
y'all starting wide receivers was Garrett Wilson, Olave, and Marvin Harris as a
yeah,
freshman.
and then we had Terry McLaurin and Curtis Samuel before that.
Yeah, yeah,
Smith and Jigma. Um,
yeah.
and then Cameron Hayward, he was out there on defense. Like
Mm.
the guys that came through that program. I mean, all of those names stick out. Um, and
He like
and
Apple for bad reasons, but
hey, but you know
yeah.
his name though. I mean, obviously Denzel Ward, he's a stud. He's had some
Denzel
issues.
Ward,
He's a stud. Um,
Denzel Ward,
Tanner
and
McAllister, personal favorite, doesn't play that good. I mean,
if
then you got to
Varn
think
if
J.K.
Varn
Dobbins.
if Varnett didn't get into legal issues, I think he would have Arnett. I mean, if Damian Arnett panned out in the league, I think he would have been all right. He was a
Mm-hmm.
beast in the Buckeyes. He was a
Yep.
beast. You had like you said, J.K. Dobbins. Then you had can't think of names right
Oh,
now.
they had Trey Sermon too,
Yep, Trey
who's
Sermon.
he's kind of. I'd like to see, and we'll kind of touch on that a little bit when we get to that game. But I'd like to see the Colts kind of. I know they've got the Jonathan Taylor thing going on. I know Zach Moss has done
Mhm.
some good stuff too, but they've got an absolute stud sitting back there, just waiting to get the ball, and they really got to feed that kid the ball. That kid is talented.
Mhm.
I forgot about Jonah Jackson too, offensive lineman.
Yep.
Oh,
Nah, Ohio State was y'all QBs was ridiculous. Miller, Cordell, um, and my personal
Haskins.
favorite. You had Haskins, you had Miller, and you had Cordell Jones. Miami just Miami just missed a field goal. Wow. Mm.
Too bad. It's because they don't have Brandon Aubrey out there.
The best in the business.
No, there's been some super studs that came out of Ohio State, man, and I to be able to watch them over the years, man. I mean, I haven't been an Ohio State fan my entire life. I was usually more of an Oregon fan. I really liked the jerseys. It
I'm
wasn't
about
until I
to.
really started getting into college football where I started going
I'm
for
gonna name
Ohio.
you some names in Ohio State running back history. Archie Griffin, he won 2 Heisman's.
Yep,
Eddie George, Beanie Wells. Who else we got? Who else? Maurice Claret. I think who's the greatest Ohio State running back of all time. Me personally. Me personally. That's deep.
well, there's one running back for Ohio State that I do happen to be a very, very, very big fan of. He wears
What's
the
up?
number 15.
Man. It's like Zeke, beast. Zeke is a beast. Nah, I just got a personal vendetta because he personally torched us in the playoffs. Boy had 200 fucking rushing yards. I don't know.
That's also part of the reason. That's when I fell in love with Zeke, and then we drafted him, and I was like, oh yeah.
I still think we should have got Jalen, but for what it's
Waddle?
worth, no, I'm talking about Jalen Ramsey and that. And I mean, we
Oh,
would have
in
won
that
no matter
draft, yeah,
what.
yeah.
Yeah, in that draft. No, you can't forget about Carlos Hyde neither.
Oh, I did forget about Carlos Hyde.
JT Barrett, he was electric at QB.
Yeah, but then
Braxton
he then
Miller.
he just freaking vanished.
Mhm. Just like most Ohio State QBs, you know.
Well, there's one
They got
that's gonna stick around for a long time.
they got Zeke. They got Zeke as the third greatest Ohio State running back of all time. Behind J.K. Dobbins and Archie Griffin. That's not bad. You said there's gonna be one, there's actually gonna be two because I don't care what nobody says. Justin Fields is elite. Me personally.
Okay, well, there's Isaiah's hot take for the week.
He's elite. My personal opinion.
Okay, now
Nigga,
now are you saying that he's going to be elite or he is elite?
like when I say elite, I'm talking about he got elite ability. He's on the rise. He's not gonna be a top 3 QB in the league, but he's
But
gonna be
that's what
like a
elite means.
no. See me, elite is top 10.
No.
To me,
Elite
top
is
10 is elite.
elite is top 3.
No, elite is top 5 at best.
No, because that means that you are accounting for a third of all starting quarterbacks in the league. There are only 32 starting quarterbacks in the league. The top
Aren't
10
there?
can't be the elite. Maybe the
So
top 5. I'll give you the
I'll
top
change my
5.
criteria. I'll change my criteria then. I'll say top 5, but I'm not going as far as saying top 3. I can't do it because you telling me CJ Stroud is a top 3 QB in the league?
If his
No,
comparison, if you're saying
no,
that his counterpart in comparison to his stats versus Fields, then yeah, CJ Stroud is
no.
an
But
MVP.
you've called CJ Stroud elite multiple times. So is he top 3 in the league?
Yeah.
No, I could name 3 QBs better than him right now. See, now you put top 5, you can put in that criteria. Yeah.
So whatever it is that I have to do to push Justin Fields out of that conversation. Now, don't get me wrong, and I've said here on the podcast, I believe in Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields has a terrible organization that he wears a jersey for. They've given him some talent. Obviously, DJ Moore gets hurt this week. That kind of messes it up a little bit for him. He's had his issues. He had his issues in college too.
Yeah.
But there are more than 5 quarterbacks in the league better than him. There are probably more than 10 quarterbacks in the league better than him at this
All
current
right.
point in time.
You want to?
potential and ability to get there wise. I said last year I thought this year was going to be a breakout year for him, and I'll say this year that next year will be a breakout year for him. But if I don't see something by the end of next year, man, I'm not going to say that he's a bust, but I'm going to sit here and say he's going to need a change of scenery in order to change
How
my
can
mind.
you call Justin Fields a bust when he's
I'm
been
not. No,
hurt?
no, that's not. That's what I said. I'm not saying he's a bust. I'm not going to say that because of the situation that he's been handed. But he has to actually show me something tangible for me to put him in the conversation as far as somebody who can be a franchise quarterback. I just don't see it right now.
Let's segue to something. I wanna tell you the greatest college football team ever. I want you to hear these names. Y'all can have the Eddie Georges. Y'all can have the fucking J.K. Dobbins, the Ezekiel Elliott's, the Maurice Claretts, the motherfucking. You can have them, Carlos Hyde, because the greatest organization in America had these names. You ready? Josh Jacobs,
Oh, here we
Eddie Lacy,
Tua, Hurts, Jones.
where we at? No, we just talking running back. Trent Richardson. Where else we at? We at Mark Ingram. We got Najee Harris, Sean Alexander, Derrick Henry,
So,
T.Y. Yeldon, Kenyon Drake.
I mean, as of right now, you've only listed 2 actual studs.
Who? Talk to me.
Well, Derrick Henry's
Josh.
number 1. That's not even close.
Josh.
Meh, mid.
He's better than any running back that we had in the past 3 years.
Meh.
Eddie Lacy.
He was good for 4 games, and then he weighed in at 400 pounds.
See, yo, you talking NFL. I'm talking about college criteria.
Oh, if we're just talking their collegiate careers, then okay, then yeah. Then Josh Jacobs is probably on the top of that list.
Yeah.
He's probably one of the best college running backs we've seen in a very long time. I'm not going to say of all time because that's a lot of running backs to cover.
He wasn't better than Trent Richardson.
It was close.
Collegiate?
I agree with you in the fact that Trent Richardson has the advantage over Jacobs, but it's not like it's a far separation. That one's you could have that argument either way. Josh Jacobs, Jacobs' downhill ability, especially in college, was unparalleled.
Jahmyr Gibbs. He was literally what Jahmyr Gibbs was. He was explosive, who can get the screen, go 20, 30, give him a carry. He was a first rounder, and he was the third string running back.
Yeah, that is true.
Ain't that some shit? Hey, man, Alabama, the greatest collegiate fucking school in America, football-wise. I can't really basketball, they kind of trash. But, hey, you know.
Not like the UConn boys.
UConn. They the GOATs. All right, let's talk the big boys. It's almost halftime. Let's talk the big boys. But before we even get to that, your power rankings for the week.
Well, San Fran 1.
Yep.
Dallas 2.
Yep.
Baltimore 3.
Mm-hmm.
That team is just I just don't get it. But
my cousin said that game was rigged, by the way. Every time he say a game is rigged.
Is this the same cousin that made the incredibly hot take last week?
Yep.
Yeah. Still on the smack, I see. So yeah, San Fran at 1, Dallas at 2, Baltimore at 3. I feel like Philly still has to make it, but we're gonna put Philly at 5.
Not on my list.
I only say Philly just because I don't know.
Not on my list. No, that's just a
Nah.
disclaimer. Not on my
Yeah.
list. They just gave up. They just gave up 70 points in 2 games. Yeah. Nah.
Honestly, so real quick before I finish out the power ranking, because you mentioned it, it's fresh in my head. So not only did they give up 70 points in 2 games, they have given up 1,400 yards in 3 games.
And not in we ain't even adding the fact that they didn't even score last night. The
So yeah,
defense
okay, never mind.
scored.
Philly's out. Philly's out. And so we got San Fran, Dallas,
Mm-hmm.
the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
Could you still? I mean, I want to go with Cleveland, man. Like they just make a lot of noise for a team
I
that's
put
kind
them
of
in there
ragtag and
last
duck
week.
tied together.
I put them
For a team that's held together by duct tape and zip ties, man, that team is
They
crappy.
gritty.
And I'm gonna go Buffalo at 5 because Josh Allen just finds a way to do it. And for any of you that know me, my career long hot take is always going to be that Josh Allen is significantly overrated. But honestly, no. I'm gonna say to hell with Buffalo because fuck Josh Allen. I'm gonna put Denver in at the 5 slot, man. That team for getting 70 dropped on them, that team has turned around.
Now all of a sudden, Denver.
Hey man, Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson. That was a hot take. Oh my gosh.
That was 2 weeks ago.
Away when I said that.
Hey, 2 weeks ago, Philly was number 1 on the power rankings, and now they ain't even make the top 5. So that's how quickly things can change, Russell Wilson's comeback player of the year, man. I know he played all last year, but still.
All right. Here's
We got
top 5. We got number 1, the obvious unanimous San Fran. And then 1B is Dallas. Oh, I said 1B Dallas. 3. I don't want to put them there, but they gotta be in there. Baltimore, they just win. 4, Cleveland. I'm gonna stay consistent with that. And 5 to close out the rankings. The rest of these teams stink.
just match me all the way. Just go Denver at 5.
Nah, because I'm still pissed off at Denver, even though I do respect their season. I'm gonna put it to you like this. If the Packers win tonight, Packers is 5 because they hot right now. But if they lose tonight, put Denver there. That's what I'll do.
That's fair. Yeah, because the games aren't over yet. That's fair. I really wanted to put Detroit in that listing, and then Detroit got shit on by Chicago, and now, yeah.
I don't trust. I could put the Dolphins in there. I don't trust the Dolphins. They sketchy. The Bills, everybody beating the Chiefs. The Chiefs is garbage. They don't have nobody outside of Kelsey and Rice who can catch a ball. Can't even line on side. They lining off sides.
We gonna get into that because I got something to say about that. So we'll get into that when we cover that game.
If I have to riot for them, I'll do it. Get Tony out the league. Get him out of here. So I got San Fran, Dallas, Baltimore, even though they should have lost. Then I had Cleveland. Then I got, depending who wins. The Packers win, I got the Packers because they're going to be on the 4-game win streak. And if they lose, I got Denver. All right, now let's get to this recap. All right, that Thursday night game. I want to round of applause, It wasn't a bad game to kick off the week.
I lost $100 on that game.
Oh, you had the Steelers.
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know. I wasn't going to say nothing, but it's almost like ever since we started this podcast, somebody been starting to bet a little bit.
Oh, I mean, I work with a lot of sports fans. I make a lot of like friendly wagers. No, it's no like DraftKings or anything like that. I just do a lot of friendly wagers with people.
Oh, Jordan Love over there struggling. Back to back turnovers. Oh
Yeah,
man.
he's got it going a little rough right now.
Um. Damn. Mitch. Hey, excuse my language, but Mitch the bitch. You trash, my boy. Like, yo, he was a lottery pick. This man was a lottery pick. That goes to show you how bad Chicago drafts.
Yeah,
Terrible. But baby, Zake, Zapey, however you say his name, you didn't look too bad. You know, Steelers defense kind of banged up, but for what it's worth, you play who's on the field. You
Zeke did his
smoke
thing
them.
though.
Zeke did I. It was one thing I give Zeke. Zeke looked mad explosive for a fullback. I ain't gonna lie.
For a fullback, he had 68 on the ground and like another 50 catching.
Yeah, like I said, for a fullback, he mad elite. I give it to him. Oh, he ain't
He the
elite, but
best fullback in the league.
yeah,
Well, beside
yeah.
Juszczyk.
Um, but yeah, that surprised me. I mean, it surpassed my expectations. Honestly, I can't complain. I thought we was gonna get a 0-0 game. To be honest, two of the worst offenses in the league. You got Mitch Trubisky out there versus Zappy, whatever. Still don't know how to say his name right. Yeah, I thought it was gonna be terrible. Can't be mad at a 21-18 game. What's your
I also
thoughts,
just
Sean?
learned that his first name was Bailey.
Yep, Bailey Zapp.
What a fucking name.
Any
Oh,
takes on that game?
I like I said, I thought that game was going to be a 3-0 game, which ended up being a different game this week. But I thought that game was going to be just terrible, and New England started hot. Um, and that Pittsburgh defense, man, one guy can't do it all.
Hmm.
One guy
I mean,
can't do
they
it
only
all.
got two guys, TJ, then you got Miko in the back end, but he been hurt all goddamn season, so.
And he's another one that like he goes through like a 2 game stretch where he's elite, and then he gives up
Hmm.
500 yards.
Hmm.
But
Next
TJ just
game,
can't do it all, man.
next game, Houston versus the Jets. The Jets so pummel the Texans 30-6, and I just wanna sit back and I just wanna recap for everybody who listened last week. Remember when I almost did that bet and you was laughing at me? And I'm like, hey, sometimes it's just like living on that edge. I should have jumped. I should have
Yeah.
jumped.
Well, hindsight's 2020.
I should have jumped. But hey, what's your take on this game?
I think Houston. I think D'Amico Ryans and that Houston team learned the importance of having an offensive line. Stroud was just getting beat up left and right. They couldn't run the ball. I mean, I think he finished the game with 91 yards. And all right, he left the game with injury. There was 5 minutes left on the clock when he left. It's not like he left in the second quarter or anything. So they've got to do something. But I will say, without Tank Dell out there on that field, that offense looks different, man.
Yeah, they
You know,
keep saying Nico Collins #1, but I don't know.
Dell's the number one. Um,
Hmm.
Singletary's exactly what we thought. Nothing.
Hmm.
David Pierce, nothing. Noah Brown, he's got his flashes of good plays. But
Hmm.
they just don't have it. And defensively, they're mid.
Hmm.
And the thing that gets you with the Jets is that their offense is bad.
These
I don't
these
care about the
yeah,
stats for this one game. Their offense is
DeAndre
bad.
Hopkins just maul Xavier Howard. Jesus
That's because Howard's
Christ.
washed.
Jesus. Tennessee about to
Um,
go into the half up 10-7, probably. Mm.
but I mean that Jets defense is just savage, man.
beast. Like
Like,
I was gonna say was imagine if the Jets had a competent offense.
oh, I mean, they'd be top of the pack for their division at least. Yeah, I mean, if Aaron Rodgers was actually out there, I mean, that team would look completely different. There's no doubt about it. I mean, we
That
finally got to
defense.
see Garrett Wilson do his thing. I think he went for like 108 on nine
Yeah.
catches or something like that.
Yeah.
Um, Brees finally got to get a little crease going and was moving
Mhm.
around a little bit. And Wilson throws for 301, which is like his season total. Um, so yeah, I think that was for me. That is the equivalent of the Arizona game for us. It was just they just fell behind and they just could not
Oh
get up.
wow, Will Levis just they ruled them out of bounds. Will Levis almost just threw a pick. But yeah,
Hometown kid,
man. That the Jets, I just love watching the Jets defense, man.
dogs, man. Quentin Williams, they got Mosley out there, Sauce Gardner, dude's a animal. Like that whole defensive unit, man, is just for a team that is as bad as that team is right now with their offensive struggles.
Don't forget about Quentin brother Quincy now. That
Yep.
man is a tackling machine.
Um, that whole defense is just and I don't think Salah gets enough credit for what he's done with that team. I know the record doesn't really reflect it, and obviously they go out, they get Aaron Rodgers, he gets injured 4 plays in. We're really not sure exactly what it is that he brought to the table with them, but for that defense, man, is just phenomenal. I mean, you put that defense, you give Bill Belichick that defense, and New England's probably winning games. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that defense is set up for success. And I still think that Aaron Rodgers comes back next season. That defense stays the same way it is right now. They're gonna make noise. Jordan
He's
Love, that was
gonna
a terrible run.
um
That was terrible.
Aaron Rodgers gonna fuck around and win MVP next year if he's healthy. He has the weapons, but
Oh, did Jordan Love just fumble? Oh no, they're gonna say he was down. Okay.
yeah.
All right, next game.
Next game, the best game of this week, hands down. You got the Rams versus the Ravens. The Ravens pulled out off of a thriller punt return, 37-31. That was a tough back and forth game. That game right there is the epitome of why I love the game of football, where you don't know who's going to win, but at the end of the
That
day, there will be a winner.
that game, even with the win, almost cost Baltimore their power ranking spot for me because for Baltimore to be an elite team in the league and to make a solid run at this, LA is not the team that they should have stumbled on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, giving up 31 to the Rams and having to go to overtime with that. I mean, I get it. All right, Lamar threw for 316. Cooper had 115. Williams with another 114 on the ground.
Puka, man, Puka was killing them dudes.
He's got to be rookie of the year, right? Like,
Either him or Jalen Carter.
well, Jalen Carter's going to win
Oh
defensive rookie of the year. He
yeah,
cemented that last night.
yeah.
But I mean, it's got to be. I mean, I still think that Brandon Aubrey should get rookie of the year because he's the best kicker in the league as a rookie, as someone who didn't play football. But that's besides the point.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I just didn't think that the Ravens should have struggled that hard. I
Miami
thought,
is garbage without Tyreek Hill. I just want to say that real quick.
oh, that's because Tua actually, like Tua literally lives by the fuck it. Tyreek's down there somewhere, and now Tyreek's not down there somewhere. I mean, give him a little bit. I think he has to realize that like he still has Jalen Waddle out there, and Waddle's no fucking bum. But he's no
Mm-hmm.
Tyreek.
Negative. He is not
Um,
no Tyreek.
Yeah, I just didn't think that Baltimore should have struggled that bad. I'm glad that they came out with a win. It was super awesome to see that punt return touchdown live on TV. That's not something that you get to see every day, especially to win a game in overtime like that. And Homie almost got pushed out of bounds like 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really cool for
Yeah,
them.
he
I just
stayed
don't
on
think it
his
should have been
feet
that
that
close.
whole way. He got tripped up like 5 yards into the run. He stayed on his feet the whole time.
Yeah, he pulled that little stutter move on the kicker that came to get him, and he saw the kicker.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure the kicker's still tumbling now. He just hit him with the okie doke, and all of a sudden it was game over.
What is Jordan Love doing out there?
Costing them the game.
Tommy DeVito damn near playing with him damn near. God, but that's why I kind of when you confidently said Baltimore at 3, but I had to come to my senses. Ain't nobody really better than Baltimore. But the real test will be in what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, when they gotta go over there to Levi Stadium and they gotta strap up against the best team in football.
Oh yeah, and we're rooting for Baltimore on that game. The problem is I think honestly right now, I mean, Baltimore is the best team in the AFC. I don't think that they're all that good, but they are the best team in the AFC.
For sure.
All right, what we got next?
What we got? Oh yeah, my take on that game is
Oh yeah,
Baltimore is just they show flashes where they one of the best teams that could make it to the Super Bowl, and then the other games where it's just like, yeah, they alright, they just. But I want to give people. I just want to say people hate on Matthew Stafford so much, and I don't know why. Like, listen, if I was a wide receiver, I want him as my QB. He go out there, he's tough as nails, and he get the job done. And that boy can throw a heater on your ass, boy. He could throw a heater.
Oh yeah, he's got a missile.
But yeah, to me that was the best game of the week, but it shouldn't have been the best game of the week. It should have been a blowout. But yeah, the next game. Can we just gloss quick? The Saints beat the Panthers 26-6. Give Bryce some help. Like, just give Bryce some help, please. Give him a line. That the Panthers defense is actually not that bad. The Panthers actually got it okay. Granted, they was playing against booty Derek Carr, but outside of that, all season long, I'll tell you what. Derek Brown, Jesus Christ. Derek Brown is a fucking monster. When I saw him on trade rumors, I wanted Dallas to at least give them a call. Because him in the middle, especially with Hankins gone, man, Jesus Christ. He was fucking Kamara up, just grabbing him by the horse collar, just tossing him.
Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Uh-huh. My hot take of the week actually comes from this game.
What's up?
You ain't gonna like this.
What's going on?
I think Young's a bust.
I figured that. I'll give it one more year. Cause you got.
I'm not gonna say right now definitively that he is a bust. I'm just saying that is the trajectory of which he is going.
The organization has set him up to fail.
Yeah, but like I said a couple weeks ago, man, at a certain point in time, you have to make a play. Elite players and great players all throughout history and all throughout the league manage to make plays.
Peyton Manning, his rookie year, he had more picks than touchdowns. Let's see how that look. I'm not saying he's gonna turn to Drew Brees or Peyton Manning, but I think he will be a serviceable player to a great backup in the league. And I don't think that's a bust. I mean, for a first round pick, that's kind of a bust. Dude, he be missing mad throws.
But no. Hold on.
The reason why
you said
he misses
a first round pick. He's not just a first round pick.
What is he?
The first pick in the draft.
Yeah.
Not just the first first round. Number one draft pick.
So okay, if that's the case, right? So if you the number one draft pick, you can't be a career backup? You can't be a serviceable backup?
That's not the expectation of you.
What I just said he's going to be a great serviceable QB to a great backup. I literally just said that. Me personally, I feel like give him 2 more years. You trade him or you get him an offensive line. But the reason why he's not making plays is because the kid is 80 pounds soaking wet, and he's afraid to sit in the pocket. He's not planting his feet when he throw. He doesn't have accuracy like that. If you give him the ability to settle down, I think he's gonna be better. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you this. I bet you he'd be a good QB next year, and I will bet on it next year that he will be a decent QB next year.
He's Josh Rosen part 2.
You waller, you bugging. But we got the Bengals just absolutely eviscerated the Colts 34-14. Hey man, Joe
Minshew
Burrow,
garbage,
who?
bro.
But hear me out though. Joe Burrow, who?
No. This is almost at the. I mean, Browning's thrown for more yards, but this is like when Dak went down and Cooper Rush took over. Like the problem with Browning being out there is that there is no film on him. Nobody knows what. Nobody knew. I didn't even know who their backup was when he got hurt.
He earned him some money. The way how the league is set up, he will be getting a bag during the off season.
Yeah, he's going to Carolina because they're going to ditch Young after the first year.
Hey man, Bryce Young will have a better career than Stroud. Fuck you talking about?
Oh, you and your cousin be on that dank shit. You be on that dank shit. Now you're just trying to be hurtful. I know you don't even believe that. You don't even believe it.
Shroud is the best QB in the league. You want his Johnson? Let it go. Let him breathe a little bit.
He's the best QB in the league. He's the best QB in the league from that draft class.
He's about to win MVP. Get off the nuts a little bit, man.
Unbelievable.
Listen.
Unbelievable.
CJ Stroud, he good. He all right. He ain't no fucking MVP. I'll tell you that much. You mean to tell me he's better than Brock Purdy? Fuck no. Fuck no. Is he better than Tua?
Yes.
Fuck no.
Tua's proving that to you right now. Without Tyreek Hill on the field, how does Tua look?
Yo, CJ Stroud got the Jalen Hurts effect. That little young motherfucker just throw that bitch up there and take down and Nico Collins get up there and grab that hoe.
That's what a quarterback does. They throw the ball.
So you just throw it up in the air?
And then your receiver catches it. Yeah, that's kind of how playing quarterback works. But, I know you and I were both linemen back in the day,
but you don't throw it to the wide open man. You just want to throw it in double coverage and just hope your guy catch the ball.
If you have faith in your guy, you throw it to the guy who catches it.
I didn't think that was football. I didn't think that was QB.
Unbelievable.
Hey, every dog has a day, right? Jalen Hurts was lobbing it to AJ Brown all season last year. That's not happening this season. Why? Listen, Houston having a great season. I'm impressed by them. But next year, they're gonna be the old new. People gonna what you just said. People gonna watch film on these dudes. Come on now. I mean, I know it's your little Ohio State Buckeyes Nation, woo, jump. But come on, if Bryce Young is trash, then I'm not gonna call CJ Stroud trash because I'll be an idiot. But you over here every time I like this kid about to be a Hall of Famer. That's yet to be unproved. That's yet to be proven.
I can't. I still can't believe you said that he's gonna have a better career than CJ Stroud. So I just want to point something out real quick.
Yep.
Real quick. So on the season, Bryce Young has 2,200 yards.
Yep.
9 touchdowns.
How many times he been sacked?
9 interceptions.
How many times has he been sacked?
I don't know. That's his own fault.
So, so when Dak gets sacked, then it's Dak's fault from now on.
Well, actually, more times than
Don't
not, it's because Dak
don't
holds onto the ball too long.
don't blame Terrence Steele. None of that. I don't
All right,
mean none of that.
I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna pull it up for you right now. So, in the regular season, okay, we're
Yep.
gonna do CJ because I got CJ right here. 3,600 yards,
Yep.
5 interceptions,
Yep.
20 touchdowns,
Yep.
been sacked 35 times. Wow, that's actually a
Yep.
lot. Jesus. Okay, so
And
that's
CJ
that's where
Stroud fought.
that's where
Fuck
we're
him.
looking at for CJ. Okay, now we're gonna go over here and we're gonna go to them stupid Carolina Panthers and we're gonna go to Bryce Young and we're gonna take a look. So we have 2,200 yards, 9 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 48 sacks,
Mm, 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 mm.
13 more sacks. Okay, he's been sacked 13 more times.
Mhm.
That's not a big enough difference to constitute 1,200
What?
yards.
What?
13 sacks does not constitute
All right. Put it to you
13
like this,
sacks.
right? All right. CJ Stroud on the Carolina Panthers. What is his stats looking like?
Somewhere in between Young's and Stroud's right now.
So mediocre. You said in the middle, right? Mediocre.
Well, no, because mediocre would mean that would have to mean that CJ's at the top of the barrel right now.
That's what you be saying. You be saying he the greatest of all greatest of 2023. And then you got Bryce Young, the worst of 2023. So in the
No,
middle,
no,
in
no,
the
no, no, no,
middle.
no, 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 no. Now I know it sounds like I'm just like completely dogging on Bryce Young. Bryce Young is not the worst quarterback in the league. He's not even the second worst quarterback in the league. Honestly, he's not even the third worst quarterback in the league. Is he bottom 5? Probably, but that has a lot to do with scheme. I was never a fan of Frank Reich. That team has issues all over the place. So that's why he gets like the pass for this season. But if Carolina
Tell me,
works
give
on their
my
stuff,
boy, give my boy one more season.
you can't judge someone off their rookie year. You can't call him a bust
Give,
off his rookie year, which is why,
give
like I
my
said,
boy.
I'm not calling him a bust. He's just giving me bust vibes. Pause. Um,
Big pause.
so, um, I just haven't seen in the moments where I'm like, dude, I mean, even so, let's just talk about the Dallas game with him real quick. So the Dallas Carolina game, there were moments in that game where you were like, oh, Bryce, if you make a play right here, man, you have the potential to, oh, he fumbled it. Oh, Bryce, man, you've got the potential. Oh, pick 6.
He gotta
So
put some meat on his bones. He has to put
ah,
some meat on his bones. He
but
has the he had. I'll tell you this, right? All right, right.
yeah, I mean, he's
Perfect
5'10",
example.
194.
No, right? Perfect example, right? Let's say, you playing basketball, right? And
That's
you a
scary.
and you a deadly shooter. Let's just say you Stephen Curry with the shot, boy, right? But then you go on a run where you miss 20 in a row, right? Now on that 21st shot, you wide open. Are you gonna take that shot or you gonna be tentative? Your
I'm gonna
confidence
take
is
it.
gone. Your confidence is gone. That's the
That's
thing
a
about
that's a
confidence
personal
is
characteristic
huge.
problem. And that's
No.
where coaching comes into play. That's exactly where
Hey,
coaching comes into play.
Frank Reich ain't a great coach. You feel me? You just solidified that. He's not a
But that's
good
what I'm
coach.
saying. That's why I'm going to give him next year. But no matter what, at a certain point in time, you have to make a play.
And he won't this year, but he will next year. I'm not
Next year
saying
doesn't matter.
he's gonna be in the Pro Bowl. Next year does matter because you are trying to push him into the bus conversation. And I'm like,
I'm
whoa,
just saying.
whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold up
That's the
there,
vibe that he's giving
bucko.
me. I hope he
Hold
proves me
on,
wrong.
bucko.
I don't want
Hold
to see nobody be
on,
a bust.
bucko.
I want everyone to do great.
And you don't want to see
And I'm not
nobody
saying,
from Alabama be great. Let's be honest. If he's
oh,
running
that's not true.
if it's the Bama road, who was the last Bama player you rooted for? Me currently,
I,
Justin Fields. I'm a huge Justin Fields fan.
like a Bama player that I'm a huge fan of,
Yep,
Derrick Henry. He's the best running back in the league, and it's not even close.
the best in the league.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
No.
Who's better? Who's better? McCaffrey, maybe.
Maybe, maybe.
I ain't never seen
Nah.
McCaffrey run a 99-yard touchdown after stiff
I ain't
arming
never.
all the players
I ain't
on the
never.
field and then stiff armed everyone on the sideline just
That
because
was
he
fun.
fucking could.
That was 5 years ago. I ain't never seen Derrick Henry go for 1,000 and 1,000 in his goddamn career. Never will, and never did, and that's that. As of right now, 2023, the best two running backs in the league. Nah, I ain't gonna say that because his team is trash. So I just put it like this: the best running back in the league, CMC. You gotta give it to CMC. So you want to be Mr. Stats guy? You wanna bring up the stats, Mister Stats guy?
I'm a sucker for real running backs. I'm a sucker for real running backs, man.
Ooh, Derrick Henry top three.
And he better
Derrick
be number
Henry,
two. I
and
say
if
number
you
one. But
listen,
so you got McCaffrey, Henry, and who's the third?
Saquon,
Nah, I knew you were gonna say that.
Saquon. Who else? There's not many great elite running backs in the league anymore. Like there are very few. Najee Harris can be up there, but he just want to jump over people. Joe Mixon is washed up.
Oh yeah, I know, absolutely.
John Connor, like who we
James
got?
Conner, yeah.
Oh, Dalvin Cook washed up. Ramondre Stevenson, like this Tony Pollard. Like there's not many elite running backs anymore. It's not a running back
Kenneth
league no
Walker.
more. Fuck him. I got a vendetta on him. He single handedly fucked my season. Fuck him. When it hurt his
Kyron
rookie
Williams.
shit.
Williams a dog, man.
Oh, yeah, that's your new favorite player right there.
Yeah, he a dog. All right,
Yeah,
what's the
not
next
many
game?
too.
What's the next game? We got away from it here.
Yeah. Oh. The Bucks and the Falcons. Yeah,
Trash.
I
Both
really
teams
don't have
trash.
no.
Yeah,
The
whatever.
Bucks beat the Falcons 29-26. The Jags lose to Cleveland 31-17. That was a decent game. Joe Flacco made it happen.
Yo, Cleveland sitting there like, could we give Flacco some of that Deshaun Watson money?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll tell you what though, Jerome Ford, he's not as good as him, but that motherfucker plays just like Nick Chubb, boy.
Oh,
Holy
it's the
shit.
exact same guy. Chubb's slightly better, but it's a very rare case in which you can run the offense exactly the same. They didn't have
Holy
to
shit.
change anything.
He be jump cutting to the right just like him. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
yo, is that Nick Chubb? Is he back? Jesus Christ. He just don't he's not explosive. Like Nick Chubb, once he get to the second level, he's a threat to take it home.
Yeah, them
Jerome
fucking
Ford,
thrusters kick on. Yeah.
yeah, and then Jerome Ford, the complete opposite. He can get to the second level, but he gonna break it off for like 30. But I really don't like watching Cleveland too much because I'm still sad about number two over there. Still sad about that. And it's gonna be a long time before I become unsad. Imagine Cooper, Cooks, and CD on the same wide receiving core. A man could dream.
I don't know, man. I think the only problem with that is that if Cooper was still there, CD wouldn't be the player that he
Nah,
is.
he was on the rise. CD was gonna be CD regardless. You got to remember his first 2 years. Well, they was making him the number one option, but he kept dropping balls.
Yeah, I still don't know, man. Especially with the way that Dak has been playing lately, the way that he's been seeing the field and moving around. I think that if Cooper was on that field, he would be the wide receiver one.
Miami in the red zone. Um, the upset of the week: the Chicago Bears beat Detroit 28-13. What's your take on that?
Detroit proved that they're not an elite team.
hmm
They're in a very soft division. I
They
mean,
got
Green
one
Bay's heating
problem.
up.
They got two problems. Their defense is still historically shitty, probably worse than Philly's. And
Oh,
two,
it's terrible. Yeah,
they need a QB.
yeah, Jared Goff is not that guy.
Like
Not that guy.
he's just, hey man, I give it to him. He found a way after his spot in Rams didn't go too well. He turned Detroit around. I ain't gonna take that against him, but this year
Honestly, I
specifically,
think Dan Campbell gets more credit for that than anything.
for sure. I mean, but the QB got to get the ball out there. He did what he needed to do last year in the beginning of the year. But the problem is, right? It's the ongoing problems. Jameer Gibbs, why he not touching the ball 20 times, catching and rushing? Why is he getting the ball less than 15 times a game? It don't make no sense to me. I get it. David Montgomery is the bell cow. I get it. But come on now. He need to be
Yo,
touching the
Jordan Love
ball.
is garbage.
Jordan Love doodle. But Jameer Gibbs need to touch the ball just as much as St. Brown does. Simple.
Yeah, the problem is that every time that they give Montgomery the ball, he ends up fucking scoring with it. That's why you keep feeding him.
hmm If that was the case, they should have kept Jamal Williams. He motherfucking led the league in touchdowns last year.
Yeah,
But
and his
that's what you're
career's going
looking
to
for.
waste right now.
But that's because he's backing up Alvin Kamara, who does goddamn everything. He's the Swiss Army knife. They talk about Taysom Hill. No, fuck that. Alvin Kamara does everything for them motherfuckers except for throw the ball. Without no
Yeah, the
Alvin
Saints the
Kamara,
Saints got to
there's no
stop that whole
Saints.
Taysom Hill shit.
Yeah, that shit is garbage. Next game we got San Fran snuck by. The score don't prove it, but to me they snuck by Seattle. It's just Drew Lock is trash. Drew Lock single-handedly cost them the game, but it was close. DK Metcalf was cooking them boys. Was
Yeah, and then he got himself ejected by being a
mm-hmm.
diva.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I just want to talk about the fact that Debo is like the coolest, most disrespectful son of a bitch in the league. Debo don't give a fuck about nobody. Does not give a shit.
He does not give a fuck about Debo is the perfect fit for San fucking Fran. Jesus Christ. He just go in there, punch you in your mouth, and go home and stream on Twitch. That's all he
Mm-hmm.
do.
He just does not care. Does not care. He a dog though, man.
Yo, I
I
know
know
I'm
he torched
supposed
Dallas too, but he a dog.
I know I'm supposed to hate San Fran because that's our biggest rivalry. But I can't hate them dudes, man. Them dudes just
I hate them as a
yo.
Cowboys fan, but I love them as a football fan.
Debo will take a fucking slant route on the 20-yard line. And I'm not talking about the red zone. I'm talking about their 20-yard line. Break 5 goddamn tackles, stiff arm another motherfucker, and take that bitch 80 yards.
And then his ass will run down to the one and then run back to the other side of the field because he didn't hit one guy. He's just an
And then,
animal.
and then you got George Kittle who don't even want to catch the ball no more. He just want to punch you in the mouth. That's all
He's just a
George.
hype guy.
That's all
He's a hype guy.
George Kittle. He drink his beer, snort his coke, go out there and punch you in your mouth. He the dude when he see everybody not like hyped up, he's gonna intentionally smack somebody to get people hyped.
Yep. Yep, dude's just
And then
ridiculous.
you got Brandon Ayuk, who's probably top 8 wide receiver in the game right now. His progression every year is nuts. And I hate to
Yeah, he
see.
just gets overlooked by some of the other talent
And
on the team, but he's a
then you
phenomenally
got
gifted athlete.
CMC, who just Swiss Army knife. This motherfucker will have a loss for 5 and gain a 20 yards. Like, that shit is crazy. And Brock Purdy, I gotta shout out to him. To me, he's still a game manager, but damn, he's one good game manager. That boy, he's not the most flashy. He's not the most accurate. He's not the most prolific QB. But that
You don't
motherfucker
have
get
to
it
be.
there. He get it there. He be making some clutch ass fucking throws.
And he doesn't get rattled either, man. You
Yeah,
could put that
man.
dude on the turf 4 plays in a row, and he's just gonna be like, all
You know,
right, well, let's not make it 5.
personally,
Put Kittle in here to block.
everybody should know who I want to win MVP, but 1B, I hope Brock Purdy wins just off of the comments you said about Colin Cowherd last week. I hope he
Mm-hmm.
wins it. I wouldn't be mad if he wins it because you can't be a leader if you wear your hat. Like, that's just, man. Colin Cowherd is a coward. Fuck wrong with him.
You bitch.
I refuse to talk about the Vikings game. I just refuse. That was literally
That was a fucking hockey game.
the worst game I've seen this season outside of the Giants and the Patriots.
No, honestly, this game was worse than the Giants Patriots game.
For sure. Hey, Justin Jefferson, man. Get healthy, man. Get healthy, man.
Yeah.
Just sit
Yeah.
out. Sit out. It ain't worth it. Sit out.
Yeah,
Sit
that
out.
was a mistake, man.
Yeah, man. Just sit out, man. You still elite. You still probably the best wide receiver to most people. Oh, Tommy DeVito. Oh, Giants score. Oh man. Yo.
I'm here.
How
Yeah,
that
14-10 Giants.
Saquon with another TD.
I'll take that. That's a fantasy win for me.
How many leagues are you in?
I got 3. I got one for big money. I got that one little play one that I'm in with you, and then I'm in another fun one with my wife.
I'm in 8 of them. I'm in playoff contention in 3 of them. Just win some money, man.
Nope. I ain't got time for all that.
Nah, a few of them is free joints though. The Broncos. Damn, man. Herbert, man. You should have sat out a long time ago, my boy. Your body is beat the fuck up. Beat the fuck up. But hey, Cortland Sutton, man. No, before I talk about Cortland Sutton, yo, Russell Wilson, that fucking throw you threw to Cortland Sutton in the back of the end zone.
The back of the end zone.
Oh my fucking gosh. I've seen 2 beautiful throws this week. Only 2. I've seen 2 beautiful throws. I've seen that throw and then one particular in the Cowboys game that we will get to.
That one to Gallup. Yep.
Jesus Christ. But yeah, Denver's strong. I hope they win the division. I really do. Will it happen?
They have the potential to. Do I think they're going to make any noise in the playoffs? Probably not. But I'd like to see them take over. I'd like to see them take out Kansas City.
Let's get something new, man. Tired of seeing KC. KC washed, Buffalo washed, all those teams, Tennessee washed. Man, let's get some new meat in there, man. Pause. That was a big Woo!
Oh boy.
Damn, the Packers already in the red zone?
Yeah, they bad punt. Punt came, hit one of the runners in the back, and Green Bay recovered it.
Man, Miami lose this game. They horrible. Your favorite game of the week? I'm gonna just let you ramble about this one. I don't got much to say because I lost money on this game. Buffalo Bills versus the Chiefs. Tell me what you got.
All right. So first off, right out the gate, I want to say this: Patrick Mahomes, you lost my respect. I
Why is
have had
that?
nothing but respect for this man since the day that he took over for Alex Smith. I've always regarded him as the best quarterback in the league, and I've never walked back on it at all. And I still
Before
do think he is the best quarterback
before
on the
you
league.
proceed,
But
tell the world why you feel that way.
for you to go why I think he's the best or why he lost my
Why
respect.
he lost your respect?
For
Because
you as the face of the NFL to go out there after a game in which you lost and immediately dog the referees, okay? Oh, in that moment, you can't make that play. In that moment, you can't throw the flag. On your first day of learning football, you learned where to line up. And if you watch the interview with Patrick Mahomes and the interview with Andy Reid, they both complain about the fact that the flag was thrown. Neither one of them denied the fact that Tony was offsides. There is no denying the fact that Tony was offsides. And as we know, as people who played and people who have watched football our entire lives, what do you do when you line up on the line of scrimmage as a wide receiver? You check with the ref to make sure you're in line. Tony didn't do that. If he checks with the ref goes, He takes the step back, ball gets snapped, boom, Chiefs basically win the football game. I know there was still like a minute 20 left on the clock. Things can happen, but they still go up at that point in time. But for you to go out there and then the first thing you do is complain about the ref calling, oh, well, we want to see players decide the game, not referees. Players did decide the game. Players lined up offsides. The player on your team lined up over the ball, which is a foul, didn't check with the ref, ball got snapped, flag comes out. Okay? That's football. That's the game. We all know where he's supposed to line up. I'm watching that game live, and I saw where Tony lined up, and I went, oh, can't do that. And then they're like, oh, well, I've been in the league 7 years, and I've never had that flag called. Yeah, we all know. As fans, we all know that they don't call that. And I want to remind everybody, in week 1 of the season, Kansas City played Detroit. Do you remember in the fourth quarter, there was an offside penalty on the Chiefs because their right tackle lines up too far back?
he does that shit every fucking game.
Those are things that get seen on film, and Bill Belichick is famous for this. They tell the officiating staff, we noticed this on film, keep an eye out for it. Sean McDermott knew that was going to happen, made sure the referees looked for it, and the moment it happened, they got flagged for it. That should be a penalty every single time. I don't care if it's the first play or last play of the game. Lining up offsides is a penalty, and that is your responsibility. Patrick Mahomes, greatest quarterback in the league. People call him the greatest quarterback of all time. He should have known that Tony was offsides. He shouldn't even have snapped that ball yet.
Here's my thing on it, because I wasn't able to actually see that last play because I had some stuff to do around the house. But when I heard that the game was ended off of an offsides, I'm like, man, some bullshit. But after I watched the video and seen a photo of it, I'm like, Jesus Christ, he's a whole 2 yards offsides. That's uncalled for.
And then for him to be there slamming his helmet on the sideline, yelling at the ref on the sideline, his teammates are holding him back from yelling at the referee. And then to go and meet Josh Allen after a battle in the middle of the field and go, that was the most bullshit call I've ever seen in my fucking life. You are a crybaby ass bitch, and you are officially, as far as I'm concerned, in the same tier as LeBron James, where you think that you are above the game of football because of your status.
We're going to lose some followers when you're talking about LeBron James. That's their husband. Everybody let us on LeBron James.
Nope, because I will never, ever, ever talk down on LeBron James' ability to play the game of basketball. I will never say, I'm not going to be that like, oh, he's not even that good. I'm not going to be like that guy. Those people don't pay attention to sports. But what I will say is that what Mahomes did is exactly what people criticize LeBron for, which is the nobody is bigger than the game.
Mm-hmm.
You do not get special privilege because you're Patrick Mahomes. That was an offsides play. If that would have been reversed, so let's say Buffalo lines that play up. Stephon Diggs is offsides by 2 fucking yards. They run that play. Kincaid drops it back to Diggs. Diggs runs it into the end zone. Bills win the game. What's the first thing that Patrick Mahomes is going to do when that game is over?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he lined up offsides and they didn't call it.
Right.
So Patrick Mahomes lost all my respect. He's still a phenomenal player. I'm not going to say anything about that. But the Bills deserve to win that game. I'm not necessarily going to say that the better team won because both those teams are ass, and Dallas is going to smack the fuck out of Buffalo next weekend. So I'm not even worried about it. But for Mahomes to go out there in his position and act the way that he did,
the Chiefs
unbelievable.
Had so many chances. Here's the damn Tyreek Hill coming back out. But here's the problem with me when it comes to not Cleveland, Kansas City Chiefs.
Also, they have 33 drops on the season.
Mm-hmm. These dudes was the best team. The past 5 years, they was the best team in the red zone. They might be worse than us when it comes to red zone because they get down there and just kick field goals, man. Horrible. Terrible. Chiefs had so many chances to win. I mean, we could say that about every game, every close game. This team had a chance to win. But the Chiefs had a real, true chance to win that game, and they specifically blew that game. And I don't know what's up with them with losing home games, but man, garbage. All I just gotta say is, man, Mahomes. Your brother tendencies is starting to trickle down to you.
That's what he reminded me of. He reminded me of his brother out there.
Your wife tendencies is starting to trickle down on you.
Hey. I ain't gonna do all that. I ain't gonna mention nobody's wife. That's a slippery slope.
Slippery slope or not, listen, you are who you around.
You around a bunch of bums.
You are who you are around. And and I'm not calling his wife out her name. All I'm saying is she be at that game acting childish as hell.
And you know what? I'm gonna say one more thing. Travis Kelce, I just want you to know that your best friend in the whole wide world and Patrick Mahomes just made your whole just embarrassed not just your entire team, but the entire league in front of your girlfriend, Taylor Swift.
Speaking of Taylor Swift, this is back-to-back games she done went to and they lost.
I know. I saw something earlier. They referred to it as the Jessica Simpson effect from when Jessica Simpson used to come to the Tony Romo games.
Hopefully that stops the whole Taylor Swift NFL thing because it got to a point where Taylor Swift was being mentioned more than the game. And I don't like that shit. I don't like that shit. But yeah, Jackson, he reminded me of Jackson last night.
Yeah.
And like you said, he the face of the NFL. Some things is just a no-no. So that's
also for Stephon Diggs to be targeted 9 times with only 4 catches. Josh Allen.
Nah, Stephon Diggs got a lot of drop issues this year. I don't know what's going on, but
but have you seen the problem is he gets hit with the drop, but it's almost like when the quarterback throws it, it bounces off your hands. The defender catches it, the quarterback gets they get the interception for it. Some of these passes that Josh Allen has been putting out for Stephon Diggs have just been straight ducks, straight ducks.
But there was 3 passes that impressed me just talking. I can't remember the down. I just know it was 4th down. It was quarter. Josh Allen was standing in the pocket. I'm closing my eyes visualizing it. He was flat-footed as all hell. And threw that bitch on a dime on a rope for like 35 yards. It was a crosser route. just on the dime, on the flick of the wrist. See, that's the thing. He can make him and Justin Herbert can make every throw and you can imagine. But they just not it to me. Josh Allen, he impressed me with some of his throws, but as a QB, he's not it for me. He's not it for me. And that is hard to explain, but if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. He's just not it for me.
I would say Herbert over Allen.
What I was gonna say is then we could segue to the primetime game. Is that's why even though after last night I text you, I said all my Dak slander is out the window. I don't give a fuck if he throws 5 picks next week. I don't give a fuck if he throws 40 picks next year. I don't give a fuck. Last night that motherfucker earned my respect. I don't give a fuck anymore. But what I was gonna
Which I would like to inform everybody here that listens to this podcast. If you've made it this far with us, thanks for sticking by. I have been saying this entire time, and Isaiah and I have gone back and forth, and most of our conversations have resulted in me defending Dak and him shitting on Dak. I would just like to say, welcome to my side of the fence, man.
hey,
I
man,
knew he had it in him. He's had his moments.
I
Don't
give
get me
you
wrong.
that. I
He's not
give you
without
that.
opportunity. Don't get me wrong. This man's a baller, man.
But what I was gonna say was, if Dak was in that predicament, he's not acting like that.
Nope.
That's a true champion.
That's one of the best things about Dak Prescott. What he lacks on the field, he makes up for it in that locker
This
room.
man
He is a true leader.
This man threw for almost 300 yards and said, "I'm pissed off by my play. I need to play better."
Yeah, he said right. The first thing they said to him was just like, I definitely could have done better. Like I need to figure out what happened and what I can do because this was not good. And you're talking about a game. He goes 271, 2 touchdowns, no turnover, or he had the fumble, but no interceptions, and he's dogging on himself. And that's why, like, all the haters and all the people that talk about Dak, nobody is harder on Dak Prescott than he is of himself. And that is an intangible that you
But the
cannot teach.
problem with Dak was, and I'm on record to say this, I'm 100% confident that it was the coaches around him that once he would get on that podium and play like shit, and then the next game play like shit. And now what I'm seeing is that was a product of coaching, you know. And after sleeping on it, this is when we segue. How about them Cowboys?
How about them Cowboys?
Fucking cry, Eagles cry,
Eagles cry.
wah, wah, wah.
I want to real quick, man. I want to shout out my one of my good friend of mine, Kevin. He's an Eagles fan. Him and I talk sports a lot, and him and I, we kind of try to keep things away from me being a Cowboys fan and him being an Eagles fan. We kind of try to keep things neutral, and we've had a lot of talks about referees and how there's been a lot of bad calls around a lot of games.
If he listening to this, we got to get him on here. I would love to get him on here.
This man last night after the Cowboys game, and still to this moment now, all he keeps saying is that the refs gave Dallas that game.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just like to point out to anybody who feels that way. First off, Micah Parsons was held 7 times and it didn't get called once. I'd like to point that out. The other thing is, you all didn't lose by 3 points on a decision at the end of the game. Y'all got spanked. Y'all got macked the fuck up. The score doesn't even reflect how bad y'all actually got your asses beat. Your Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, and A.J. Brown all fumbled. So I don't want to hear that refs gave us the game shit. Y'all motherfuckers suck. Your team is trash. And the best person on your team is your head coach. And fuck the Eagles.
Oh,
so
nah, the Giants really about to beat the Packers, man. That's crazy.
That's because Jordan Love ass, bro.
But
Jordan Love straight ass.
Before we get to the recap, because I only gave 2 game balls when we was talking. But I need to add one more. So I'm going to talk my game ball before we recap this game. In this order, my number 1 game ball goes to Old Man Gilly. I just wanna say bashing you all season long. But because when we needed you the most, when you said, all right, little man Bland, you've been doing your thing, but let me show you how to do it, young pup. Last week, this week, let me show you how to do it, young pup. Granted, AJ Brown had a little 70 yards or what it was, but he had to earn for every single one of them motherfucking yards. It
Yeah, I
wasn't a
saw
free.
something. I saw something with Gilmore. He was saying that, and like one of the first times they lined up against each other, AJ Brown told Gilmore that he was old, and
Mm-hmm.
it fucking pissed him off. And
Mm-hmm.
that whole game, he just had him, and then he caused the fumble on him, and yeah, he was
My
dogging him.
game ball number 2 goes to Aubrey. What a hell of a game, man. What a hell of a game. For somebody to never play football ever before, hell of a game. And my last and final game ball. And it's not to that because he's the MVP. He should be doing these things at this point. My number 3 game ball go to is Mike McCarthy. This man just had surgery on Tuesday and was fucking on the sideline coaching on Sunday. Like,
Stood there for 3.5 hours.
like,
That's respect right there, man.
and they say he ain't a leader. He may not talk much, but to me, that's leadership. That's leading by example right there. He was just literally in the operating table. Days
Always
before.
there for his team.
That's just amazing. That's my 3
I
game
think
ball.
he's gotten a lot better. I think he's kind of taken a step back from all the analytics and kind of focused more on football.
He has made Dak Prescott a better QB.
He's made him an MVP. I still
Mm-hmm.
say that Dak is the front runner for the MVP.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Especially if we dog walk Buffalo and Miami. Oh yes. The only thing Brock Purdy got on Dak is that he beat us, and he didn't just beat us; he kicked our ass.
It ain't gonna happen again though.
Still on the fence. If we could score 30 next week, and score 30 against Miami, then I'm sold. Because we play like shit on the road.
Oh, we putting up 30 and 30 for sure.
And Michael Parsons, man. Oh, Michael Parsons. This is when we start recapping with Michael Parsons. You didn't have to do Lane Johnson like that, young pup. God.
Yeah. That man has a family. He's got a jacket, my guy.
That man,
he is in the Hall of Fame.
That man, D-Law said we punched him in the mouth and they got scared. And they got punched up and they didn't fight back. Nobody feared the Eagles. The Eagles been just getting by. I'm gonna tell you what. They're gonna lose to the Giants once, and they might lose to Arizona.
Are we rooting for Seattle next week?
Hey, without Gino, I ain't getting my hopes up without Gino.
Nah, Philly ass, bro. They gonna lose to Drew Lock.
Man, you know how beautiful it'd be if Philly lose out. That'd be fucking amazing. If we could win out, San Fran lose to Baltimore, and Philly lose 2 more games, we locked in, baby. We could play home for the rest of the playoffs.